This is Hermes, a 24/7 always-on AI agent, and it's run my life for the past 2 months. It writes my content, it coaches my training, and when I let it, it takes over my computer and does the work itself. And it all runs on my own machine, which is the one thing that everyone tells you never to do. I'll show you why they're wrong and give you the full setup from start to finish, completely free. All you need is copy-paste. That puts you ahead of everyone who's only ever tried this in a chat window. Let's go ahead and build this. Just this afternoon, I wanted to revamp my website, so I gave it the URL of 2 similar agencies. I told it to dig into everything that it knows about me and asked it to formulate a master planning document to overhaul my website. So it went ahead and set that goal, ran all of these tasks by digging in through all of these files, visiting the 2 other websites, and in less than 10 minutes, it gave me a detailed 20-page document. Oh, and by the way, I was in the car when I sent this message, and by the time I got back to my desk, the work was done, ready, and waiting for me. So what we're aiming at is an agent that works while you do something else. And we're gonna build this in 3 levels. Level 1 is get it running on your machine in the next few minutes. We're gonna do this properly on your own machine, and all you need to know how to do is copy paste. If you can paste into a terminal, you can do this. Now to set up Hermes, you need something called node.js. That's just the runtime it's built on, an engine under the hood. Install it once and forget it. So on the Node.js website, click get node.js. You can either do this through the terminal, or if you want to do it the easy way, you can get a pre-built node.js for your operating system. Just go ahead and download, follow the steps to install, and that's that. Installing Hermes is just as easy, if not easier. You can either download the desktop app and set it up from there, or you can run it via a terminal command. I'm going to show you how you can do it with a terminal command, because this way, if you want to deploy it on a remote server in the future, you know how to do it. Copy the command from the website, open up a terminal, paste in the command, and hit enter. Let it do the rest. It's going to take a couple of minutes to install all of the dependencies. And while that runs, here's what you just got. A background worker that lives on your machine, takes actions for you, and you reach it the way you text anyone else. Hermes isn't a chatbot in a tab. It's a worker that keeps running even after you step away from the computer, which is exactly why level 2's configuration, what we're going to do next, really matters. Once the initial installation is done, you're going to need to select a provider. Now the provider is the brains behind Hermes. Which AI model is actually going to power everything? Now you have a lot of choices, as you can see on this screen. If you don't want to spend any money but you still want to get started, you can use News Portal itself. News Portal has a fairly generous free plan, and they're always cycling through a bunch of free trial models that you can use. This is a great way to get started and playing around with Hermes, but if you're serious about using it, I highly recommend using a ChatGPT $20 subscription. It's highly likely that you already have it, and Hermes can just piggyback on that itself. So to use it, just go ahead and scroll down, choose OpenAI, and you'll see that it shows currently active because I already have it installed. Hit enter, choose OpenAI Codex. It's gonna ask you to log in. For me, it's showing re-authenticate, so just for this demo, I'm gonna select that. And it's gonna give you a URL and a code to enter. So grab the URL, open it in a browser, make sure you're signed in with your ChatGPT paid account, and it's gonna ask you to enter a code. Go back to the terminal, grab the code that it shows you, paste it in, hit continue, and you'll get a confirmation message, and the terminal will also reflect that the login is successful. Then you can go ahead and choose the default model, so you can choose any, and now your basic Hermes setup is done. Then we can type in Hermes in the terminal and start chatting with our very own AI agent. And there it is. Hello, how can I help? We are now set up. A quick word from this video's sponsor, me. This is basically what I do. I go into a business, I find the thing that's actually costing them, and I build the AI system that solves it. So if you're stuck working in your business instead of on it, there's a link in the description to work with me directly. And if you'd rather just build it yourself, The school community is down there too. 40 plus plug-and-play automations ready to go. Alright, now back to it. Now to get the most out of Hermes, you don't only want to be able to access it if you're at the computer. You want to be able to access it from anywhere. And we can do that by configuring the gateway, which is the next step after you choose your model. Now these are all the messaging platforms that are built into Hermes off the bat. You can really choose any one of these, but the easiest one to set up, especially when you're starting out, is Telegram. And it's going to ask you if you want to set it up automatically or manually. Now I'll be very honest with you, the automatic setup is a little buggy. I tried scanning the QR codes a few times, but I kept running into errors. So I found that the easiest way to do it is if you just set it up manually. So open up Telegram and find the user called the Botfather. Make sure it's this one with the check mark and not anyone else. Start your conversation and type in /new bot. This is going to prompt you to set up a new bot. Follow the prompts and you'll get a Telegram token. Copy that token and paste it in here. Next, you're going to need to choose an allowed user ID. This is an essential security step because this will make sure that only specific users can access your Hermes agent via Telegram. Now to grab your own user ID, go back to Telegram and find @userinfobot. And when you send it a message for the first time, it's going to return your username and your ID, which is going to be a set of numbers. Grab that, come back to the terminal, and paste it in here. Use the same ID as the home channel and you're done with the gateway setup. It might ask you to restart the gateway, so just say yes. Start up the bot that you had set up. Let's say hello, and there it is. Hermes is responding. Hello, how can I help? Now you may run into an error at this stage because when you message your bot for the first time, Hermes might not reply and instead it'll give you a pairing code. If that's the case, grab that pairing code and run this command in the terminal with that pairing code that you got. This is just an added security step to make sure that the handshake between Hermes and your Telegram bot is completed on both sides. Now remember how I said that most people will tell you that installing Hermes on your main computer is a bad idea? Well, they're right to a certain extent, unless you take the steps that I'm about to show you to lock down your agent. Right now, you've got a powerful agent that's completely wide open. It has access to tools that allow it to make real changes in your computer and on the web. So the first step that you want to take is decide what it's actually allowed to do. And this is the part that really matters. And by the way, if getting this running already put you ahead of the pack, go ahead and hit subscribe, because this next part is the difference between a toy and a tool you'd actually trust on your own machine. Let's go ahead and configure it. Now by nature, Hermes is a Swiss Army knife. It can do almost anything and everything. And to do that, it has a bunch of tools built in and a bunch of skills. Think of tools as the means to take an action, the way it can control your computer or the way that it can access your email. Those are tools. Hermes also has a whole bunch of skills built in as well. And think of skills as instruction manuals. So when you set up Hermes for the first time, it's worth auditing which tools you really need and which skills you really need, and turning any unnecessary ones off, both to reduce the bloat and to secure your installation. So if you run the Hermes tools command in your terminal, it's going to give you a list of all the tools currently available and all the tools currently active. Now this is my setup that I've configured over the past 2 months, and I'm fairly comfortable with the way it's working, which is why I have all of these tools enabled. But at the onset, go down this list, consider strongly which ones you really need, leave those on, and turn everything else off. For example, one kind of attack that these kinds of agents are really susceptible to is the prompt injection attack, where somebody would hide malicious instructions on a web page. Now when your AI agent reads that web page and the malicious instructions on it, it mistakenly considers that to be instructions instead of information, and it goes ahead and execute commands. Now the biggest attack surface for prompt injection attacks is the web. So before you're really comfortable and you really have a grip on what you're doing with Hermes, turn off web search and scraping, and turn off browser automation. Or if you need web search and scraping and browser automation, turn off terminal and process, file operations, and code execution. Because it's a mix of these two when used in an unsafe manner that can really do the most damage. Audit your skills the same way that you audited tools. Run Hermes skills list and you'll get an output of all the skills that are built in and enabled. Work down the list and disable the ones that you don't think are relevant. For example, I don't really care about the polymarket skill, so I'm going to go ahead and disable it. Now you have to make Hermes yours, and this is where it stops being a tool and starts being an employee. To onboard Hermes, send it one message, but tell it everything: who you are, what you do, what you're working on, the tools you use, how you like to work, your likes, your dislikes, your preferences. Just give it a brain dump of everything about yourself. Every bit of context helps. Paste it in, send, and let it do its thing. An AI agent that knows you is worth 10 that don't. And this one message is the highest leverage thing that you'll type. You can also tell it how to behave. Concise, direct, no filler, tell me what you're doing and why. Because everything that you tell it, Hermes commits to memory. Every time you correct its course, every time you remind it about something, it's going to add that to its memory, improve itself over time, and try to work better for you. And the best part is that once you've got the model set up and once you've got Telegram set up, you don't need to dig back into the configuration for anything. I can just tell it to disable the polymarket skill, which I didn't want, and it's going to go ahead, read its own documentation, and disable the skill by itself. So it read its own documentation, ran all the necessary commands, and disabled the skill for me without me needing to dig back into the terminal and do it myself. You might have been wondering, if I disable these tools and skills, what good is Hermes to me anyway? And you're kind of right, but the fix that I'm about to show you changes all of that. You see, where things get dangerous is if a single agent has access to too many tools. That's a bad idea because a prompt injection attack is a disaster waiting to happen. But let's say that one of your tasks was research, in which you needed Hermes to browse the web. And another one of your tasks is making sure that your desktop and your downloads folder stay clean. So one requires web access and the other requires terminal and file access. The cleanest way to get Hermes to be able to do both things without the overlapping security issues is to use Hermes profiles. Now, profiles is a very powerful functionality of Hermes in which you can essentially create multiple instances or multiple versions of Hermes, all running on that one single installation, but with their own sets of personalities, memories, tools, and skills. So you would have one research agent which has access to the web. You have another computer manager agent which has access to files in terminal but does not have access to the web. And you can create hyper-specialized profiles for all of your main tasks that you do. For example, I have a general agent, which is the one that I've been demoing for you so far. I also have a content writer agent, which has access to my Obsidian second brain, which is a topic for my next video, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. My content writer can access my second brain, it can access Twitter, and it uses all of that information to write LinkedIn posts, write blog posts, and newsletters for me every single day. I have another calisthenics coach, and this agent's only job is to plan workouts for me and track the results of my existing workouts. I also have a custom intelligence profile which has access to a Discord channel, and it pulls all the messages from that channel and extracts key insights for me and gives me an output every single day. Each of these profiles is independent of the other. They have their own sets of tools and their own sets of skills. Creating a profile is as easy as messaging your main agent the default profile. Create a new profile called Demo Agent. Hermes confirms that the Demo Agent profile is created. Now you have to run through the exact same setup process as you did for the default agent at the start of this video. If you don't want to do that, you can just ask this agent to copy all of its settings into the demo agent and then go back and disable all of the tools and skills that you don't want. You can also set up a dedicated Telegram bot and connect it to a specific profile, or you can ask the same bot to switch into the other profile. Both things work. Alright, so to wrap up, you have Hermes set up, you have Telegram set up, you have a couple of profiles set up. What comes next? Work on each profile. Give it a small thing to do. Make sure that it can do that autonomously and the way you want it, and gradually build on top of that. Once you're happy with the way one profile is working, make a new profile. Give it its own set of tasks and keep repeating this process. Remember, Hermes is a self-learning agent. So even if the output is not perfect in the first go, tell it what it needs to change. Hermes will learn from its mistakes and do better the next time. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can wire Hermes into a comprehensive knowledge base about yourself or your business so that it knows exactly who you are, has access to all of your information, and can actually utilize that in everything that it does. I'll catch you in the next one.